Mark Rober is in big drama. If you don't know who he is, he's this former NASA engineer turned YouTuber, and he makes these pretty creative science engineering type videos, and he generally does very well. He gets a lot of views and is pretty respected in the community, and he recently posted this video called "Can You Fool a Self-Driving Car?" And essentially he compares Tesla's autopilot, which uses cameras, against other types of technology like LiDAR. And he basically just sees like, okay, if there's a kid standing here, is the Tesla car going to stop or crash into him? What about if there's a kid standing there and there's a bunch of rain happening? What about if there's a wall which is painted exactly like the road ahead, so it looks like there's nothing there? And he ended up doing a bunch of tests, and in his tests he concluded that the Tesla technology did not do as good, and it basically just rammed into the wall, did not stop. Here's a quick clip.
Oh, fudge! Oh boy. Tesla would detect it in time to step on the brakes, and it turned out... Holy...
Now, essentially, the drama started from people calling out Mark Rober on Twitter, saying that the test was actually not fair, and claiming that he faked the video because of some underlying motive, maybe political reason, maybe he just hates Elon Musk, maybe he hates Tesla, something like that. Now, Mark Rober has actually responded in an interview and his own tweet as well, so we'll be checking all of that out. But let's kick this off with Alex's tweet here saying, "This is Mark Rober. He spent years building one of the strongest reputations in social media, loved by tens of millions of followers. Yesterday, he obliterated it with one 18-minute video. It's a story of greed, deception, and cowardice. Here's the story of what happened." And as of now, this has 100k likes, 30 million views. Mark is a longtime YouTuber who spent years accruing over 65 million subscribers. He filmed wildly entertaining videos testing the limits of physics and tech. He was Mr. Beast before there was a Mr. Beast. Yesterday, he let money, politics, and greed get in the way of all of that. Mark put out a video titled "Can You Fool a Self-Driving Car?" The concept of the video is simple. Drive a Tesla in full self-driving mode on a road where there's a wall painted like a road. See if the Tesla cameras see the wall and cause the car to stop. Harmless enough, right? Wrong. The video is filled with deception, lies, and illegal, undisclosed advertising. I don't think this is correct. In the video, the Tesla does not detect the wall and goes right through it. On top of that, there's a kid mannequin that gets absolutely nailed, but here's a few things that Mark doesn't tell you. First of all, he lied about full self-driving. He didn't even use full self-driving. He used autopilot, which even Tesla admits is an older, not as strong technology. Now, Mark actually responds to this in the interview, which we'll check out, but I just want to go through all of the accusations first. But even worse, he deactivates it right before it hits the wall. In a sneaky maneuver, he moves the wheel to deactivate autopilot. No rainbow road right before he hits the wall, indicating that he deactivated autopilot. But why would he so purposely slander and attack Tesla like this? Oh yeah, he's working with a LiDAR company, which he illegally never discloses. In fact, on its first trading day, ever since the video is posted, the LiDAR company stock is up over 27%, over $50 million. Okay, this guy got immediately community noted. The description does mention this in its entirety. Thanks to Luminar for allowing us to test a LiDAR-equipped car. They provided the vehicle for testing purposes, but no compensation was given, and this is not a paid promotion. Not a lot, but something. On top of that, he lies about other sponsors. He regularly shills Google Pixel phones. In the video itself, he shows you a Pixel filming the video. Look close to the reflection of the Tesla. He's actually filming with an iPhone and edited the shot to look like a pixel. And he's attached this image and then another one of them. 65 million subscribers, 500k X followers, pursuing reputation, all that destroyed for a payday. If you're a creator, this is the ultimate lesson. This guy's made it so dramatic, by the way. In ethics and responsibility, it takes years to build a reputation and moments to destroy it forever. The backlash has been unrelenting. The video is being bombarded with dislikes. Social media is in uproar about his lies. He's even been forced to put up a follow-up video. One issue, the video had completely different footage from his original video. More lies. Okay, so Mark's first response was this tweet. Here is the raw footage of my Tesla going through the wall. Not sure why it disengages 17 frames before hitting the wall, but my feet weren't touching the brake or gas.
Here we go. Here we go. Holy shoot!
Now, despite this video, people still have questions. I have some questions. Your video uses Luminar's latest tech, but not Tesla's latest full self-driving software. Autopilot was turned on at 42, but you turned it on at 39 to 40 in your clip above. Why? Multiple takes. In the clip above, autopilot was activated much closer to the wall in the YouTube video. Why? In your video above, you turned on autopilot 3.8 seconds before hitting the wall. It appears you give Luminar a much longer head start with their tech activated. Why? Am I wrong in my assumption? Why was putting a child dummy doll behind a wall a useful thing to do? Would car possibly see or react to a kid through a wall after crashing into that wall? Well, I think this was just for dramatic effect or humor. This one I can answer. Anyways, this guy keeps going. My God, there's a long thread. He sold his soul. He betrayed his country. Okay, that's the new one. By attacking the most American-made car company in this world, he deceived his entire audience, all for a paycheck. Let this be a warning for all creators. It was never worth risking your reputation for a couple bucks. By the way, isn't this straight up defamation because he was not paid for that thing? So, and you've kept that up, so a clarification would be great here, you know? Comment section's a bit divided. What a bummer. Our 9-year-old really looks up to Mark Rober, or Mark is the Bill Nye the Science Guy of the generation. Didn't lie at all and clearly stated he uses autopilot. So basically there's two sides here. People are convinced that Mark Rober is a political shill and is just trying to smear Tesla and using the opportune time to do it because there's some shit going on, all the stocks are down and there's some political garbage going on. I don't know, I don't really keep up. And basically people are also saying that he's friends with the LiDAR company guy and they're making a bunch of connections as well. Meanwhile, there's Mark and he's basically saying that, hey, I own a Tesla, I like Tesla, I'm gonna upgrade my Tesla as well. I was just doing a regular test and it's not his fault that the Tesla failed at it. He was just gonna post it regardless of the performance. He wasn't trying to smear Tesla. So Mark Rober has responded in a Philip DeFranco interview. So starting off, Philly D basically asked him about why he didn't use the full self-driving, which is a large question that was being asked on Twitter. Here's what he said.
Was there any reason you opted to test autopilot on the Tesla instead of full self-driving?
My understanding with full self-driving is that you have to enter an address for it to work. And it, as opposed to just being able to engage it. And this is what Tesla is called autopilot, and even Googling it, seeing what they determine as autopilot. And my understanding is that the sensor is not different, whether it's full self-driving or autopilot. Knowing if that's a wall or not, that doesn't change. So I think I'd be happy to rerun the experiment in full self-driving. I'm pretty confident it wouldn't be a different result. So to me, it was a distinction without a difference.
Okay, so I don't know enough about Tesla to know if this is completely correct. I don't own a Tesla personally, and I don't keep up with all this stuff. So maybe some of you who do can let me know in the comments, is he actually right about this and there won't be any difference in the results of the test? And I feel like it would be really dumb for him to say this when people can easily prove it wrong, right? So I'm just going to assume this is correct, that, you know, there was a distinction, but the test would have not been different at all. Okay, now the second thing people are asking about is why he turned off autopilot right before it crashed and basically blamed it on Tesla, right? And Mark Rober claims that, hey, it auto turned off. I didn't do shit, you know?
You said not sure why it disengages 17 frames before hitting the wall, but my feet weren't touching the brake or gas.
So I think people were saying that I was manually just drove it through because 17 frames, by the way, is like less than a half of a second before it hits the wall. Again, I don't know why it would disengage. I was not pulling on the steering wheel. And by the way, even if I did disengage it, it's less than a half a second before you go off. The outcome would not be different. My guess is maybe the sensors, the ultrasonic sensors, which I think are on the bumper, they probably just disengage if they sense that something big is there and it just stops being in the self-driving mode or autopilot, whatever you want to call it. So that's all I'm saying is like, some people clipped right after and said, look, it's not on autopilot. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm just here. Like, I don't have a horse in this race either, by the way, right? I just wanted to go out. I love my Tesla. I'll probably get a new one when they come out. I'm just here to look at the data. And I think I struck like a political nerve or something.
Okay, so some people have a theory that it purposely turns off before hitting something to prevent any liability for Tesla, so that like if it sees like a catastrophic accident, it just turns off and says, hey, I wasn't even on in the first place, you know, something like that. I don't know if that's true. Again, I'm not very versed in Tesla software, but it seems Mark is insisting this is not a political thing at all, that he doesn't hate anyone, he doesn't hate Tesla, he owns one, he likes it, he will be buying more Tesla stuff in the future, and he just wanted to look at the data the way any engineer or scientist does, and he was just doing a side-by-side comparison of the different technologies, and it turned out Tesla's system using just cameras is maybe not the best. I don't know if that's correct. Now, basically, it all boils down to, did he perform the test perfectly fairly, and did he give the same amount of accommodations to LiDAR as he did with the Tesla technology, right? So I think in the coming weeks we'll understand, because when basically a bunch of other people recreate this exact same test, and if the results are the same, and they still go through the wall or whatever, then everybody will know that Mark was just doing a regular video with no agenda. So it really depends on that, and if the tests are different, then obviously he was lying about it or something like that, right? But by the way he's speaking, he does seem honest, but I don't know. All YouTubers are also sociopaths, so you can't really trust anyone. But anyways, he seems honest. Now, another thing people were calling him out was the multiple takes. Basically, there's a bunch of cuts and shit and edited up parts where they're using one part of one clip and one part of another clip, and this is just standard Mr. Beast style video things.
There have been people that say that it looks like you may have had multiple takes, or possibly gone through the wall multiple times. Were there multiple takes? What can you give any insight there?
There was. I mean, this is like what you put in end video. So the first day we went out there, I think you can even see it. There was we didn't have the styrofoam wall. It was just like a vinyl sheet. And it was clear if you just drive up with it, you can see it, the Tesla tells you the math of what it's looking at. And if you drive up to this wall with the road, it doesn't register anything. It doesn't register a cone. It's so whatever the math that it's doing in the computer, it doesn't register when you paint a road that something's there. Even if you just drive up to it. So anyways, we did a take. It went right through. I think that was the one that maybe was at 40 miles an hour or something. But it was just instead of cutting through it, which would visually look cool, it just kind of tore the side and a little flap came up. So it was that was a very interesting finding that it actually worked. And by the way, I'm happy to give you the raw footage of that take too. So you'll see it going through the wall, but it's more of a flap. And then we're holy crud, I can't believe that really worked. And then I don't know, 3 weeks later, we went back out when schedule permitted, this time with a styrofoam wall, because I thought it'd be funny if it's well, now that it goes through the walls, we should have a fun cutout as it goes through. So I guess in the edit, then we used the start of one of those clips. So it went through the wall twice, once when it was just kind of a flap, and then second when it actually was. And I understand. So I guess that's the confusion there.
Okay, so people were rightfully confused here. Basically, when you film a video that's getting 20 million views or something like a Mr. Beast style scale thing, right? You're gonna have multiple edits where the final product is not exactly what you're actually seeing, right? The first cut is different from the second cut, and it uses a part from a previous take. Maybe it's showing you that, okay, I'm driving this car into the wall, but actually the car I was driving was from 3 weeks ago, and then when I hit into the wall, I'm using the take from right now. Okay, it's just a bit of a mess, and that's just how these high production YouTube videos are created. But the final product just looks good, and that is the goal, right? Now, he insists that it's not actually going to say change anything. He only did multiple takes so that it will be more dramatic, and instead of just chipping it, it'll look like you just broke through the wall or something like that. Whatever, it just looks cooler for the video, which is an understandable reason, I think. It just depends how much it was edited and stuff. Now, another point made by Alex and a bunch of other people that were calling him out was that he was paid by Luminar, or he had some sort of financial incentive, that he was being sponsored by them, and this was just a hit piece on Tesla because he wants to support Luminar. But he claims that's not the case.
Regarding Luminar, there have been a lot of people asking what kind of role they played. Right, the description of the video says they provided the car for testing. Did they have any say in the edit? Did they have any say
edit.
in the
They
setup?
didn't see the edit. I really want to clear this. Luminar gave us no money. They had no say in the edit. They did not approach us. They were just a car technology I know that used LiDAR. So I reached out to them and say, hey, will you let us borrow some cars? And then they let us use the cars. So we didn't pay them to come. They did not pay us. They had no say. And we didn't know what would happen either, by the way. And we told them, look, if your LiDAR fails one of these, it goes in the video. And if Tesla would have passed all of them, by the way, that would have gone in the video. I'm very agnostic. I really just wanted to see what would happen. So truly, I don't have a horse in this race.
Okay, so a bit of gray area here. Basically, he wasn't paid by Luminar, but they gave him some cars to try out. And, you know, some would consider that payment. You know, this is just a big YouTuber thing where if he's going to make a video which gets bajillion views, why get the cars himself when he can just go to the company and they give him everything for free because he's a big YouTuber and you basically have an unlimited black card for anything you're making a video about, right? Technically, I mean, that is considered payment or whatever, but it is not officially a sponsored video. And according to the YouTube rules, he is allowed to say that that is not a sponsored video because it's not officially sponsored. He was just given the cars to try out. And again, he keeps saying that I'm not trying to make Tesla look bad, and they basically did it themselves. The thing is, regardless of the situation, I think for the sake of like humanity, I hope this technology gets better because, you know, there have been some flaws that have been pointed out here, right? Suppose Mark Rober did these tests and they were all like real and fair, right? And didn't Mark just do Tesla a big favor because he pointed out all these flaws so they can now go and change it, right? I don't know why, like, you gotta be like either Elon Glazer or Elon hater or whatever. Why don't you just look at the situation through a little bit of nuance and be like, okay, this is a good thing anyways. If it was a fake test, okay, screw Mark Rober. And if it was a real test, then okay, it kind of helps out Tesla anyways, you know? Like, of course, the stock will drop and shit like that, but then, you know, you found out like a major flaw that you should have known in the first place anyways, and then you can now go ahead and fix it, right? I don't know, that's the way I look at it personally. Then Philly just asked him, like, do you have any stocks in any of these companies?
These accusations, do you or anyone close to you have any Luminar stock?
I do not own any Luminar stock, or I do not know of anyone close to me who owns any Luminar stock. Absolutely unequivocally.
And I know you said you love Tesla. Just to confirm, do you have any options or puts on Tesla?
I have no options on Tesla. I have no puts on Tesla. I am just, there's no financial anything in here at all, 100%. I'll go into quarter law.
Okay, so no stocks, no, interest in one company or the other. I don't know if I'm being like completely manipulated here. He does sound honest to me. I do just think this might have been unfortunate timing. The political sphere is getting crazy and whatever. There's this constant war about Elon Musk and everything to do with him right now. So it's just hard to, I don't know, talk about anything related to that without getting people super hot-headed, you know? But honestly, if you're actually like dedicatedly in one of these communities, like an actual like Omega Elon Glazer, like I'll suck his schlong, or like I'm a dedicated Elon hater, I will like, assassinate him or something, like you're both losers. Like, God damn it, stop getting like obsessed over these situations. Just like, I don't know, look at the situation like a normal human being, react like a normal human being without, attaching to the schlong of someone. It's just not necessary, I feel like.
And I realize now, we plan these videos a year in advance. So the idea that this was like timed because of political stuff, like a year and a half ago, this was on our docket and we've been marching towards releasing this. So I plan on upgrading my Tesla in like 6 months. So I'm just here for the data. What happened, and anyone with a Tesla can easily recreate exactly what I did. So,
okay, honestly, that is a pretty solid thing to say. I mean, so he's literally asking people, go do the same test as me and you will get the same results. And if that is actually the case, then it's pretty open and shut. I mean, that he didn't actually fake anything. So I don't know, it's all going to depend on if somebody else is jobless enough to do these goddamn tests, right? So I don't know, come to your own conclusions, but here's what people are saying at the moment. Damn, we're really holding YouTubers to higher standards for honesty and accuracy than the people running the country and making cars. Didn't Tesla get into trouble for auto driving shutting off at the last second before it crashed so Tesla can deny responsibility? Does anyone remember the stories about how Tesla would stop their auto driving software when it realizes there's going to be an accident and can't stop in time? That looks like a lot what happens in the video. Then we got Mark Rober's video, making enemies with Tesla and Disney with only one video. This is commitment. Next, Mark's video will be like, can you engineer your way out of a lawsuit? Basically, people are saying Tesla and Elon should sue Mark for faking these tests or whatever. But Mark is basically like, I'm not worried about that. I can probably get the lawsuit thrown out because, he's completely transparent about everything. Came to see the video before it's taken down. So we got a whole army here, basically, of, I guess this is the Elon Glazer side. On an interesting note, for some reason, Tesla Autopilot seemingly disengages itself seconds before the collision. I wonder why. Okay, this is so funny. If you sort by new, you just see Mark's here spreading the truth. Love your channel. Lies, lies, lies. He used to like you. Now I know what you really are. This is basically the comment section summed up. Cool. The number of Musk fans who have no understanding of this technology yet cope so hard they sounded like moonlighting conspiracy theorists. Lots of liberals. Elon Musk is a bro. This is like, it's literally completely split. I don't even know if I should have made this video, bro. I try to be as neutral as possible. But yeah, that's basically it. Sorry for the less uploads, by the way. There's not much drama really going on that I feel like talking about at the moment. I don't really want to force it. But anyways, have a great day, guys. Eat some good food. Stop being terminally online. Just leave, you know, you watch the video, you got some entertainment. Okay, leave now. All right. See you guys next time. I'll see you later. Bye.